Hey guys, Troy Saxon with ComiKazees here for your review of episode 1 of season 3 of Arrow, aka The Con. Alright, so we open up the episode with the members of Team Arrow basically being a well-oiled machine. You got Felicity in her Oracle role doing fine. You got Diggle with his season control shit going on. He's taking weapons, stopping things, and then you have Arrow, aka Ollie, and Roy, aka Big Red Arrow, or Arsenal as we all call him nowadays, doing what they do best and kicking ass. After this, they go back to Verdant. They have a nice congratulatory, yeah, mission accomplished, we did it. Great. After this, though, Oliver and Dinah, aka Laura Lance in the Arrow universe, go to a press conference where now, as we know him, Detective Lance, well, now in the canon, he is Captain Lance, is honoring the Arrow for his many good deeds and all the things he's done, and he is disbanding the Anti-Vigilante Task Force. But with every calm, there is the impending storm. We also are shown the new Count Vertigo, who is played by one of the characters in another series favorite of mine, Prison Break. Last season, we saw the Dollmaker, who was also a member of the Prison Break series. He has revamped our least favorite drug, which almost killed our girl Thea back in season 2, to be more of a scarecrow fear serum kind of thing, where it shows you your worst fear. The new Vertigo also decides that, hell, it's time for the Arrow to die, but we all know it's not really going to happen. After we see this, Ollie finally nuts up and asks Felicity on a date, and they decide upon Italian, which can't really argue with. Everybody loves Italian food. We then see Felicity at her new job because she's not working at ComiKazees anymore. But we also see Brandon Routh, who is now Ray Palmer instead of, as we all knew him, Superman, Clark Kent. He's asking Felicity for hacking equipment because he uses some bullshit thing, but she helps him, and sooner or later it's going to bite him in the ass. After this, we finally see the date between Oliver and Felicity, and honestly, it was adorable. It was filled with awkward moments where, like we all know and love Felicity, she doesn't shut the fuck up. And Oliver tells her more about what happened during the 5 years that he was gone, saying that he wasn't really on the island for the whole 5 years, but rather he was there for 2 years and then ended up in Hong Kong working for Amanda Waller. I was going to say with, but we all know they don't like each other. The date is then abruptly cut short due to Vertigo somehow getting a rocket launcher that was seized and blowing the restaurant they were in halfway to hell. Oliver realizes then that the Arrow is more important than his personal life, and he suits up to go track down Vertigo. On his way to go track down Vertigo, he meets up with Detective Captain Lance, and they both confront Vertigo at the same time. Oliver is then injected with a new batch of truth serum and shown his worst fear, himself, being lost between being Oliver Queen and the Arrow at the same time. After this little tidbit of a fight where you don't know who's winning because it's the same person beating the shit out of the same person, Detective Lance kind of just puts up his gun and says, "Get down or be put down." But as we all know, after season 2, the last episode, he has a heart problem. So that replays back into this and he lands himself in the hospital. Unable to dwell on the fight, Oliver must suit up again to try to retake his company, Queen Consolidated. When he gets there, though, he is told that there is another bidder for the company, aka Brandon Routh Ray Palmer. Oliver's speech is very well. It's touching, and it shows that he does have compassion for the people that do work underneath him and he does work with. However, Brandon Routh, aka Ray Palmer, has used the hacking equipment that Felicity gave him to take the numbers that Oliver had during his tenure with Queen Consolidated running it, and showing that there wasn't a lot of growth. that sure, Oliver might be family, it might be his company, his name might be on the sign, but in order for the company to grow, it needs to step out of those shoes. We also see, for the comic canon fans, that Starling City under Ray Palmer, well, Queen Consolidated under Ray Palmer's little control, he will try to change Starling City into the Star City instead, which, if you're a comic fan like I am, is the real city where Oliver Queen is from. It is then that the next place Vertigo will strike is a boxing match, which, and spoilers, we see Wildcat, aka Ted Grant, another one of my favorite superheroes, and it shows that he will become a big part of the show. Nobody that gets, well, let's put it this way, nobody gets introduced in the first episode of this show, any season, without becoming a major player, alright? Anyway, Oliver, before they decide to head off to the boxing match, sidelines Diggle, because he's about to have a baby with Lila, as we all saw in the last episode of Season 2. We found out that Lila was pregnant with Diggle's baby. So he benches him in order to protect Lila and make sure that Diggle can be there for Lila if, God forbid, she does go into labor tonight. Oliver and Roy arrive at the arena, and they are surprised to see a bomb. Bunch of C4 strapped up to a wired mechanism trigger, and the two decide to split up. Roy will tackle the bomb, while Oliver decides to tackle Vertigo. Now, Felicity, with her amazing knowledge of engineering and mechanical things and how to do things and all her technological advances, she knows how to defuse the bomb. But Roy states that the wire he needs to cut to defuse the bomb is not there. So, as a plan B, she says, okay, you're going to take the air conditioning duct and the freon inside, and you're going to freeze the bomb. Flash upstairs to the roof where the real fight is going on. Vertigo injects Oliver with another batch of the fear serum. Well, I'm going to be calling it fear serum, because honestly, at this point, it's not a drug and it doesn't get you high. It's just a fear serum, like Scarecrow's. Injects him with the Scarecrow's fear serum, and Oliver kind of just fights through it, gets stabbed, just goes, got this, and then kicks his ass. Much to the surprise of everybody, one of our favorite characters from Season 2 pops up on the roof, Sarah Lance. Love of my life. I have a huge crush on this girl. But anyway, she comes in and helps him out. Now, I'm not going to talk about a lot of the flashbacks in my reviews, because I do believe that if you are a true fan of the show, you should watch it for the flashbacks. It is a great storyline, the flashbacks. But in the flashbacks, I will discuss this one part because it has a lot to do with the speech that Sarah gives. In the flashback, after Oliver gets chased by the Japanese, Chinese, Asian, Oriental, whatever you'd like to call him, he has a quote that actually I love a lot. He quotes an ancient proverb where a man cannot live by two names. Sarah also says the same thing, but more along the lines of, you can't live by your mask. You have to have people around you that don't live in masks either. Before this, though, Vertigo gives Oliver a speech where he states, Count Vertigo is like a hydra. You cut off one head, or you cut somebody out, and another person will rise up to sell the drug and be the Count Vertigo. After this, we transition to the hospital where Felicity is walking towards Diggle and Lila's room and is intercepted by Ray Palmer. Sorry, I'm so used to him in Superman Returns. By Ray Palmer, who states he is sorry for hacking, he is sorry for going behind her back and doing shady stuff, and offers her a job at Queen Consolidated now that he runs it. Oliver shows up to the hospital, and there's a moment between Felicity and Oliver where you don't know what's going to happen with their relationship. Oliver says he might never be able to be Oliver Queen and the Arrow, and Felicity tells him, then just say never. Say you never loved me, say you never cared about me, this, that, and the third, and they kiss. We finally get to see the kiss we've all been waiting for. But afterwards, Felicity kind of looks at him and says, "It's over. It's done. We can't do this." We then find the camera panning over to another rooftop with Sarah and Laurel, or Sarah and Dinah, as I would say, having a conversation before Dinah is called into her office. After this, Sarah goes to walk off and leave the building, but is stopped by an unknown character talking off screen. She turns to the character and says, "What are you doing here?" And afterwards, my least favorite part of this episode, she's pumped with 3 arrows to the stomach, falls off the roof, and dies in her sister's arms. This horrifying act, though, is going to usher in the rest of the plot series for the season. There's going to be Ted Grant Wildcat training Laurel to be the new Black Canary, and also it's going to open up a multitude of things if you pay attention to the New 52 like I do, where a certain dragon, as I'm going to put it, will cause problems for Team Arrow, or the Quiver, as Kevin Smith would put it. But anyway, guys, this has been my review for Season 3, Episode 1 of Arrow, aka The Com. Thank you for choosing ComiKazees, your go-to herd for all things nerd.